Lucille Ball was loved by millions for making people laugh. But behind her famous smile was a woman who did not get along with everyone. In the world of fame and bright lights, she had strong opinions, and some stars rubbed her the wrong way, especially when it came to certain female singers. Lucille had no patience. Their voices were powerful, but their personalities clashed with hers. From hurtful comments to backstage drama, she kept a silent list of those she disliked the most. This video reveals the top 6 female singers Lucille Ball truly hated and why it got personal. Before we dive into video, please subscribe our channel. Lucille Ball was more than just a funny actress on television. She was a powerful woman in Hollywood who broke many barriers. Most people remember her as the star of I Love Lucy, always smiling and making jokes. But behind that joyful image was a serious and hardworking woman who faced many struggles. Lucille became the first woman to run a major television studio, Desilu Productions. She was smart, strong, and always in control of her work. However, being in charge did not make her popular with everyone. Lucille had high standards and expected the same from others. If someone did not meet her expectations, she did not hide her disappointment. Over time, she built strong opinions about people in the industry, especially other famous women. Some thought she was too demanding or hard to please. Others felt she did not like to share the spotlight. While Lucille had many fans, she also had critics and a few rivals behind the scenes. These were not just small disagreements, they turned into long-lasting feuds. Lucille Ball may have been a comedy legend, but she also had enemies in show business, and many of them were strong, talented women she could not stand. Lucille Ball's life was full of success, but it was also filled with challenges and controversy. She started her career in the 1930s, working hard to become a star. After years of small roles, she finally became famous with I Love Lucy, one of the most loved shows in television history. But while people laughed at her jokes on screen, her real life was not always so happy. She faced many personal problems, including a troubled marriage with Desi Arnaz. They were a famous couple on TV, but behind the scenes, they argued often. Desi's drinking and affairs made their relationship difficult, and they eventually divorced in 1960. Lucille was also caught up in political trouble. In the 1950s, during the Red Scare, she was accused of having ties to the Communist Party. Although she was cleared, the event damaged her reputation. At work, Lucille was a perfectionist. She wanted every scene to be just right, and not everyone liked that. Some actors thought she was too strict or hard to work with. Lucille made history and broke barriers, but she also made enemies along the way. Her journey to the top came with a price, and not everyone supported her rise. Now, we talk about 6 singers she disliked the most, and why. Number 1. Carol Channing. Carol Channing was a Broadway legend known for her big smile, bold personality, and unforgettable voice. She starred in famous musicals like Hello, Dolly, and was loved for her playful, over-the-top style. But Lucille Ball did not find her charming. In fact, she could not stand her. Their dislike for each other was not just a rumor, it was real, and it got worse over time. Lucille believed Carol was copying her comedic style. Carol's exaggerated facial expressions, silly voices, and physical humor reminded people of Lucy classic routines. Lucille worked hard to build her brand, and she did not like when others tried to imitate it. When Carol landed a television pilot that Lucy wanted for herself, it was the final straw. Lucy felt betrayed and furious. She even told her writers, "If I see one more wiggle, I will sue." Their feud reached a boiling point during a charity event. Both women were asked to co-host, but the tension between them was so strong that Lucille walked off the set. She refused to work with Carol again. To the public, they smiled. But behind the scenes, Lucille Ball saw Carol Channing not as a star, but as a threat she could never forgive. Number 2. Debbie Reynolds. Debbie Reynolds was known as America's sweetheart, cheerful, graceful, and always well-loved by the public. She had a glowing smile and a voice that won hearts in musicals like Singin' in the Rain. But to Lucille Ball, Debbie was not as sweet as she looked. Their relationship began with respect, but it slowly turned into quiet resentment. Lucille believed Debbie played the Hollywood game too well, always keeping her image clean while secretly stepping on toes to stay on top. The real problem started when Debbie replaced Lucille in a national ad campaign. Lucille had been the original choice, but the company decided to go with someone younger and softer, and they picked Debbie. Lucy took it personally. She saw it not just as a business decision, but as a betrayal. To make things worse, many of their mutual friends did not take Lucy's side, which deepened the hurt. In private, Lucille once said, "She's all sugar until you say no." She thought Debbie was fake and manipulative, using her nice girl act to get what she wanted. While the public adored Debbie Reynolds, Lucille Ball saw something else, a quiet competitor who stole her spotlight without ever seeming like a threat. Number 3. Barbra Streisand. Barbra Streisand was bold, talented, and unforgettable. A rising star with a voice that could shake walls. She brought something new to Hollywood: confidence, modern style, and a refusal to follow old rules. But Lucille Ball, who came from a different era of entertainment, did not appreciate Barbra's approach. Their worlds clashed. One was classic, the other was cutting edge, and it caused serious tension between them. Lucille thought Barbra lacked respect for Hollywood legends. She once expected Barbra to attend a charity event she was hosting, but Barbra refused. That small no felt like a slap to Lucille, who believed in loyalty, tradition, and honoring those who came before. After that, Lucy reportedly said, "She's got lungs, not class." Lucille also disliked how quickly Barbra rose to fame. She felt Barbra skipped the struggle and hard work that others, like herself, had to endure for years. To Lucille, Barbra seemed too proud, too distant, and unwilling to play the Hollywood family game. While millions admired Barbra for her talent and independence, Lucille saw her as arrogant and cold. Their feud was not loud, but it was strong. Lucille never forgot that rejection, and she never forgave the star who refused to bow. Number 4. Judy Garland. Judy Garland was one of the most beloved voices in showbiz, emotional, powerful, and unforgettable. People adored her for The Wizard of Oz and her heartbreaking songs. But behind the stage lights, Judy's personal life was filled with pain, and Lucille Ball had little patience for it. Their personalities were completely different. Lucille was strict, organized, and professional. Judy was emotional, often late, and struggling with personal demons. That mix created tension every time they crossed paths. The two were supposed to work together on a television special, but it almost fell apart. Judy showed up late to rehearsals, forgot lines, and sometimes did not show up at all. Lucille hated wasted time, and she could not stand Judy's lack of discipline. She believed that everyone should come prepared and focused, especially when working with her. While Lucille had sympathy for Judy's struggles with addiction and pressure, she also saw her as unreliable and difficult. It made Lucille furious to watch someone so talented throw chances away. Their working relationship never fully recovered. Lucille later told a friend, "She is her own worst enemy, but I will not let her become mine." Judy Garland's pain-filled genius clashed hard with Lucille Ball's demand for perfection. Number 5. Doris Day. Doris Day was the picture of perfection, bright smile, golden voice, and a reputation for being the most wholesome woman in Hollywood. She starred in cheerful musicals and romantic comedies, winning hearts across America. But Lucille Ball did not buy into the perfect image. She believed it was just that, an image. Behind the polite interviews and modest dresses, Lucille felt Doris was quietly competitive and always working to outshine others without making it obvious. The real issue began in the 1960s when Doris Day's TV show started doing extremely well. It aired around the same time as Lucille's, and networks began promoting Doris as the new face of family entertainment. Lucille saw that as a direct threat. She had worked hard to earn her spot, and now Doris was being called America's favorite, a title Lucille thought she had earned first. Lucille once told a producer, "I smile too, but I also work." That was her way of saying Doris relied more on charm than real effort. Though they never had a public fight, Lucille's dislike for Doris was quiet but sharp. She saw Doris Day as a silent rival, someone who smiled sweetly while slowly pushing her out of the spotlight. Number 6. Ethel Merman. Ethel Merman was known as the Queen of Broadway, bold, loud, and completely unforgettable. Her booming voice could fill any theater, and her presence was just as powerful off stage. But Lucille Ball was not impressed. From the very beginning, their personalities clashed like thunder and fire. Ethel was loud, opinionated, and never backed down, while Lucille liked control, structure, and a certain kind of class on set. The tension between them really showed during rehearsals for a variety show appearance. Ethel mocked Lucille's timing and joked that comedy was not her strong suit anymore. That hit a nerve. Lucille took pride in her timing. It was her signature. Having someone like Ethel laugh at it felt like an insult to her entire career. Their styles were also very different. Ethel believed in bigger is better, louder songs, bigger movements, and bold jokes. Lucille thought it looked messy and unprofessional. She once told a co-star, "There is no off switch on that woman." Lucille felt that Ethel brought chaos wherever she went, and that she did not respect anyone else's space. While audiences admired Ethel's power, Lucille saw her as a loud distraction who refused to share the spotlight or stay in line. Lucille Ball made the world laugh, but her life was full of drama, rivalry, and strong opinions. She was bold, smart, and never afraid to speak her mind, even if it meant making enemies. These 6 singers may have had talent, but Lucy saw them as threats, rivals, or just plain trouble. Still, her power and charm made her a true icon of her time. Now, it's your turn. What did you like most about Lucille Ball? Her fearless attitude, her comedy, or the way she stayed strong in a tough industry? Tell us in the comments below.